Diablo 4 is probably the most anticipated action RPG, now open world action RPG of all time. Gamers have been waiting for years for this game to drop, and it is finally here. But we have one problem. That problem is time. We don't have the time to invest 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours per day into Diablo 4. So what other options do we have? What games can we play, get that same feel that we get from Diablo 4, but instead have less of a time commitment and really still be able to get the best out of what the games have to offer? In this video today, I'm going to share with you guys 3 games that all have both a PC and a mobile client, all action RPGs that you can play with less of a time commitment. Now, I want to say that all the games that I'm featuring here today, I have extensive amount of time playing. All 3 of them are ones that I would play for the long haul and that I actually enjoy and that I think are great games. And we're going to start out with one that you may have heard of called Undecember. Undecember is available on Steam, and it's also available on mobile, which is the platform where I prefer to play. But for many of us gamers, especially in the action RPG space, I know that you guys like to play these things on PC, and a lot of times with controller support as well, which all 3 of these games are going to offer. But Undecember is unique in multiple ways. One, this offers a classless system. So what does a classless system actually mean? In a game like Diablo, you start and you choose your class, whether it be a rogue or a barbarian, you're choosing your play style. But in Undecember, you build your play style over time. You do not choose a class, and instead you build out your rune and skill system to act as a certain class would act. This is really nice because you can make hybrid style builds that are not just specific to something that we traditionally know as a barbarian. You can use barbarian type strength and power and pair that with magic skills that we would get from a mage or a wizard. The endless opportunity here to be creative and build a class the way that you want to play, well, it's all possible. And that's probably the biggest standout thing that we have here from Undecember. Now, Undecember is one of the smaller games that I'm featuring here today on today's list, but it's also the one that, in my opinion, has the best graphics, has some really in-depth gameplay, and has some complexity to it, much like you're going to remember from games like Path of Exile. Now, Undecember doesn't only give us a robust storyline, but it gives us some really great endgame mechanics, which just had a massive update, making this game even more viable as time goes on. This one really is enticing. It really is a beautiful game. It's free to play with microtransactions within the game, as all of the games on the list here today are going to have. You're taking a look right here as to how you can build out your skills and really make your class shine in the way you want it to shine. You really can't go wrong with Undecember. Again, it's available on both Steam and on mobile, and it's cross-platform between both, which means you could play on your computer, and then when you're online, you can go play on your phone and pick up right where you left off. It's an amazing game that's a ton of fun. Now let's get on to my second suggestion. Next up is Torchlight Infinite. Torchlight is a game that you may remember from playing on console from Torchlight and Torchlight 2 from years of old. This is when I was first introduced to the game, but lately it's come to mobile in the form of Torchlight Infinite. This game also available on both Steam and on mobile, absolutely free to play, and does have ways to spend inside of the game as we get from many mobile titles. This one here has a very different look and a very different feel than you'll get from a Diablo or an Undecember or even a Path of Exiles type game. Much more cartoony look with this game, and the characters just have a little bit less of a mature feel, less dark, dingy, but really a beautiful game in a different way. Inside of this game, you have many different classes that you could play as well, although you do make your character choices in the beginning of the game. This is not something where you get to use that classless system as we just mentioned in Undecember. Inside of this game, there's tons of storyline that you could follow, quests that you can go on, and an open world that's going to really make you be introduced to other players along the way in both PvE and PvP activities, and it's just a lot of fun in a little bit more of a casual light. Now, I really like how you have so many different character classes to choose from, all which have something that really makes them shine. Whether you're using a ranged class, you have that long range power, but you do lack a little bit of that health and that tankiness that you really want to have, or you're a fast, spinny type tank that dives on in and gets right into the guts of the battle with many different classes in between. Now, as I sit here and tell you how much I enjoy and like Torchlight Infinite, it is my third favorite from the list of all the games here today, which is kind of weird because I'm sharing it with you second, and Undecember was first. But this one still, either which way you play it, it's gonna be based on your preference. Are you looking for something that's in the depths of hell and that is just themed to that? If so, this probably wouldn't be your choice. But if you don't mind something a little more colorful, a little brighter with a ton of customization options and a really just thorough gameplay experience as well, this is a great option for you. It's probably the most free-to-play player friendly as well out of all the 3 games that we're talking about here today on the list. Undecember is probably coming in at second place. And third place, well, let's get into that one right now. And the third game on the list, of course, is Diablo Immortal. If you're playing Diablo 4 and don't have the time, the game that you would think would probably fit best would be Diablo Immortal. Now, there are many downfalls to this game, but there are also many positives as well. As you would assume, I play Diablo Immortal regularly on this YouTube channel, so it's the game that I chose out of all 3 of them. But being a content creator, I look into more things than just how great the game is. I also look into how well it'll do on YouTube, since this is what I do for a living. But all the games today, as I've mentioned before, are really fantastic options for you, including Diablo Immortal, which has a host of different gameplay modes, all which can be done for free. The problem here is, if you want to be one of the best inside of the game, if you want to be one of the top of the leaderboard players, you are going to have to spend a lot of money inside of the game. A lot of money. Now, the great thing is for someone like myself, I don't need to be number 1. I don't care about being number 1, but I do care about participating in the majority of what the game has to offer. And as a fairly free-to-play player, I spend $5 a month on a battle pass. I can do 95% of everything inside of the game and do well in 95% of everything inside of the game and feel good doing it. Diablo Immortal offers one of the best PvE experiences inside of the game, where you can team up with your friends, as you're seeing right now in something called Heliquary, and just fight the bosses and try and go through these endless style modes. So much fun, with rewards that you can have along the way as well. Taking a step back though, you choose for your class inside of Diablo Immortal. As of right now, there are 6 classes to choose from, and in an incoming update, we have another new class coming soon, as well as new zones coming to the game all the time and new gameplay modes. Diablo Immortal, well, it's updated on a regular basis, and it's really focused on by the developers. Every single month, something new is coming to the game. Sometimes it's something huge, sometimes it's something not as huge. Either which way, the game feels good. It's comfortable to play, and the best thing is, you don't need to sink 8 hours into this game or any of the other games mentioned here today to really feel like you're being successful inside of the game or making progress inside of the game. Diablo Immortal offers everything you could want inside of a Diablo game, except for maybe some of the depth and some of the graphical stuff that you're going to get inside of something like a Diablo 4. Also, you do get the microtransactions here, and they're heavy inside of Diablo Immortal. I'm not trying to lie about that there. You could spend more money than you would be comfortable with inside of this game. So you need to be sure that you have a handle on that. Make sure that you're not spending on things that you don't want to spend on. Now, with that being said, you have tons of different gear sets that you can create to really customize your build. You have gems that you can use to make yourself stronger in PvE and in PvP. You can awaken your gear inside of the game, so that awakening is going to allow you to have more power. By the way, that is the one thing that you have to pay for inside of the game that you cannot experience without money. We have dungeons, challenge rifts, elder rifts, PvP, PvE. Honestly, Diablo Immortal, well, there's a reason why I play the game every single day. Because I could throw 2 hours into the game, really enjoy myself with my clanmates. If I'm a Shadow, if I'm an Immortal, or if I'm just going on in and playing with friends, it is an incredible experience. Now, if Diablo 4 were on phones, you know what? I'd probably be playing that right now. But it's not, and it's not going to be. It would never be direct competition to something like Diablo Immortal. So in my opinion, Undecember, Torchlight Infinite, and Diablo Immortal are the 3 best choices for someone like yourself that doesn't have the time to sink in 8 hours a day into something like Diablo 4. If you found this video useful, make sure you subscribe to the channel because I put out videos on action RPGs focused on Diablo Immortal every single day. And if you do play Diablo Immortal, I'm over on the Iceburn tier, and I'm always looking for new people to join the family. Guys, hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys tomorrow in the next one.